from 1965 until 1980, it was known as the O'Hanrahan Battalion. This is very important because the patriot Michael O'Hanrahan, who took part in the action at Jacob's Garrison in 1916 and was then executed, he was born in Ross and he was educated in Carlow. He was called the O'Hanrahan Battalion then. The barracks where you're standing here today, over 1,000 years ago, the Danes saw this as a tremendous advantage point for the protection of Wexford, where they had taken over. And the castle was built here in 1172. And Cromwell then partially destroyed the castle, and William of Orange landed in Wexford in 1690. After the Battle of the Boyne in 1690, King James arrived in Wexford and took a ship to France from Duncannon on the south-east coast. In 1723, the then owner, Mr. Jones, sold the estate to the government. The barracks has remained so ever since. Before 1959, there were 6 battalions in this area. You had the Bagenstown Battalion, you had the Carlow Battalion, you had the North Wexford Battalion, you had the New Ross Battalion, and you had the Wexford Battalion. That could be 6,000 troops of RDF in those days. And in 1959 then, the 10th Infantry Battalion was formed. The 10th Infantry Battalion had participated in many significant events from that time until the present day. In 1966, we had the Easter commemorations. And in 1969, it was a significant time, and again next week, this might all come to a conclusion. In 1969, we had people who took part guarding vital installations all around the country. In Castleblaney, up to the Curragh, up the Tagadode, Guard, and places like that. Vital installations like the ESB power stations and ammunition, explosives manufacturing plants were manned and secured by FCA personnel then. In 1977, the 10th Battalion was with the Eastern Brigade and then come under control of the Curragh Command, as it was then. It's now the Defence Forces Training Centre. In 1979, we had the Pope's visit in Phoenix Park, where we had 1 million people with the late Pope John Paul. And the 10th Battalion played a significant role then in stewarding and making sure that the event went smoothly. In 1990, the FN rifle and working dress were issued, and in 1996 we got combats. In 2002, the uniform you're wearing today was issued. And in March of this year, the 10th Battalion joined the 1st Southern Brigade in Cork. And next weekend, on next Sunday, the 1st of October, the 10th Battalion will amalgamate with the 9th Battalion and D Company in the 13th Battalion to become the 33rd Infantry Battalion. The unit throughout the years had participated in many ceremonial events, which included Presidential Guards of Honour, to name but a few: President de Valera in 1966, President Hillary in 1983, and again President Hillary in 1987, with Papal Nuncios Alibrandi and Archbishop Emphy in 2002. In the 1798 celebrations in 1998, the 100th anniversary, the 200th anniversary, the main event being at Vinegar Hill in June 1998, when the government officials and diplomat corps were represented. All companies were involved in the 1798 ceremonial and went down extremely well. And in 1991, the other major event was the ceremonial arrival of the relics of St. Therese of Lisieux on 16th of April 2001 in Rosslare, and the 10th Infantry Battalion, and particularly A Company, played a significant role in that event. Only this year, in May 2005, we had the visit of the statue of Fatima, and D&E Company played a significant part in that event. The achievements should not be forgotten. The achievements of the 10th Infantry Battalion in both military sports, in the shooting, with the All-Army Rifle Team, and individual rifle winners in 1980, and that was Cap Commandant Andy Dermody was the individual rifle winner, together with the team winning the rifle in the All-Army. The All-Army SMG in 1991, and Corporal D. Byrne was the individual winning champion. The All-Army SMG C Company were the winning team in 1991, and the All-Army individual BAP in 2004, CKMS Richard Dreelan. In the other military sport of orienteering, in 2003, the 10th Battalion took 10 All-Army titles. In 2004, they took 17 All-Army titles and 6 PDF titles. And in this year, 2005, they achieved 26 All-Army titles, and including the senior women's team. In CISM, we had 1 member in Holland in 2004, and this year we had 2 members who represented the Defence Forces in Finland, Corporal Etna O'Farrell and Private Jenny Doyle. Other sporting achievements: in 2003 and 2004, 10 battalion were victorious in the Custom Tour Block Team event. Private Olivia Hart won the PDF Orienteering Championships in 2004, and this year our ladies represented us in the PDF football against Australia. Privates Linda Casey, Shenda Moran and Flower Moran. The 10th Battalion also took part in some movies. There were movie stars also. They took part in Plough in the Stars in '65, The Blue Max in 1966, Mackenzie Break in 1969, Braveheart in 1994, Saving Private Ryan in 1997, and The Battle of Vinegar Hill in 1997. Also, let us not forget the band, the crowning moment of the New Ross FCA pipe band, which took part during the visit of President John Fitzgerald Kennedy to New Ross in 1963. This event was televised in over 80 countries at that time and was a tremendous achievement. We also have the Carling Museum. Let's not forget that. It's the place where you can visit at any time and see the memorabilia of all the 10th Battalion memorabilia will be on display there from time to come. The 10th Battalion was a unit with a deep sense of pride and an unblemished record. We do our job well, for that is a soldier's duty, and it is only to be expected. But we like to think we do it with a bit of style, and that's what makes a difference. Commandant Des Kavanagh in 1998. That was leading up to today. Today's ceremony marks a time of unprecedented change and development throughout the entire Defence Forces. As men and women of the 33rd Battalion, you will take up leadership roles in an element of the Defence Forces that is a key component of the Government White Paper implementing process. Next week, the launch of the Minister for Defence, Mr Willie O'Dea, of the new Reserve Defence Force and the 33rd Battalion in Limerick means that there has never been a more exciting and challenging time to be a member of the Reserve. Each and every one of you will play their full part in promoting and steering the change agenda at local level. And next weekend in Limerick, 2 NCOs and 2 privates from each of the companies will travel to Limerick together with the Battalion Sergeant Major, and there they will receive the pennant. The Battalion Sergeant Major will receive the pennant for the new 33rd Battalion, and it is indeed a great honour. The launch of the Reserve, the 4th Review and Implementation Plan last year marked a new departure for the Reserve. The plan highlighted typical characteristics of the Reserve, such as spirit of voluntary commitment, the maintaining of strong links with local communities and a nationwide geographical spread. And that is evident today in that we have the local authority represented by Mr Jerry O'Byrne, and also the civil authority represented by Superintendent Pat Delaney. And that was evident this summer when we were in July, where we had the visit of the tall ships to Waterford, and we worked hand in hand with the Gardaí in Duncannon, Hookhead area, and we did a splendid job, and a great credit due to you all. And thanks to all those people who performed that duty on that day. We also had the Viking Festival, and again we're assisting the local the civil authority, the Gardaí, in ensuring that the event went smoothly. The implementation of this new plan will take about 6 years. We're in year 1 of it, starting next weekend. It'll take 4 years to get upskilled and trained, so as you can then go and carry on and run the RDF yourselves. After the first 4 years, there'll be a further 2 years then where we hope that we'll have a company that will be integrated with the 3rd Battalion in Kilkenny. As a result of restructuring, the way that the Reserve is organised and trained, it is important that all of you will both look and feel that you are part of a modern force. Only in the last few weeks, 3 members completed an administration course in the brigade. Splendid job, and he trained over 100 personnel nearly at the loss of his own voice. And even today,